Road to 50 million. I've got this beautiful phoenix bird in the background, just an artistic sort of representation, but it's gorgeous. And I love the phoenix. The symbolism of rising from the ashes is very near and dear to my heart because it represents so much of my own journey and the things that have happened in my life. Road to 50 million. I had a conversation today with someone who's writing a book. And we were talking about the 50 million, and they asked an obvious question, which is, how are you going to tell? What do you know? How are you going to know? And we were, exploring different measurements. And I said, well, I don't expect to get 50 million testimonials from people saying, you helped me in some way. But I get those anyway. And it was interesting because by the time we got done with our conversation, what she said was, your number's too small. And she indicated that she was moved by our conversation and she had intention of sharing a number of things that we had talked about with others. So here's the beginning point of this. You, each of you listening to this, you're a powerful being. Marianne Williamson said something that was quoting someone else, said our deepest fear is not that we are powerless, but that we are powerful beyond measure. That's true. You, right now, here right now, you are powerful beyond measure. Are you doing something with it? I don't know. Are you living into your full potential? I don't know. Are you making up reasons why you can't? I don't know. But you need to answer those questions for yourself. Or not. You don't have to do anything. But if you're here with me on the road to 50 million, then something about this idea is attractive to you. And what is the idea? The idea is that you can create impact, significant, measurable, real impact in the world and in your wallet by serving with the gifts that you have. That includes both innate talents and gifts that you came with, and it includes talents you developed, or a mix, and there may be an overlap in that. Now, some people argue, well, you go to school and you get an education about something, and then you get a job. Isn't that the same thing? Rarely. And what I mean by that is, survey after survey talks about how many people are unfulfilled in their jobs. In the last 3 weeks, I've talked to at least, well, I won't put a number on it, several, more than 5 people who've said, I had new people that I've never talked to before, and I meet a lot of those. My calendar is structured so that I have the blessing of meeting all kinds of new people from all over the world that I have never talked to before. And repeatedly I hear the phrase, well, I have a job. And in some cases, I have a very good job. And they'll list something in finance or something in fintech or something in the medical profession or something in engineering that is a substantive, thought of as a well-paying and perhaps important position. And then it goes like this. Yeah, it was okay. The work is okay, and I get paid well, but I just don't feel like I matter. I'm a cog in a machine. I'm part of this big corporate thing, and I don't feel like I'm really doing anything that matters. Haven't you had enough of that? If that's you, like you may already be on a path of doing exactly what you want to do, but 90-something% of people that I talk to are not. Or if they are, they're dabbling. Well, I have a job and I'm doing this and I'm kind of dabbling over here. Now, there's nothing wrong with exploring different things that you want to try out. But why the fear? Why is it, I got to play it safe in case it doesn't work? I was reading a piece of a book yesterday written by a friend of mine, Chris Doris, who was just on my LA Talk radio show Tuesday night. And he talked about the vision of a 5-year-old who, I think I said this even yesterday, who would say, well, I'm going to be an astronaut and a fireman and the president, live on a cloud and have a water slide for when I come down to visit my friends. They haven't been contaminated yet with the impossibility of different things. And so their imagination is free and clear. Well, I invite you right now to be free and clear with your imagination. Today's episode I labeled intention versus commitment. And the reason is because we confuse the two all the time, and we take intention like a drug. It's like an opiate. It dulls the senses, it dulls the sensitivity, it dulls the courage that you have. It takes away your ability and your willingness to really go after something. Now, those are bold words, but intentions aren't very valuable. You can have 1 million of those a minute, and they may be even strong intentions where I'm really going to do this, and you don't, and you're probably not going to, and you use it as a drug to make yourself feel good, like, I'm going to get an exercise program, get in shape one of these days. I'm going to fix my eating. Oh, I went to the doctor, and they told me whatever it is, my this and that's out of whack, and I really need to change, and I'm really going to do it. Maybe you go to the internet and look up some good stuff to do it, and you kind of order a couple things on Amazon, and a week or a month later, nothing's changed. Those are intentions. I intend to learn a new language. I intend to launch a business. I intend to write a book. I intend to get in shape. I intend to follow my passion. I intend to find my passion. I intend to do more service sometime. One of these days, it's just not the right time. Those intentions are worthless. They go nowhere and they don't do anything. And you can get mad at me for saying it, but I see it over and over again. And if I pretended they were other than useless, I'd be not doing anybody a service. So here's a commitment, and we confuse the two. Sometimes we say something, yes, I will, and we make effectively a commitment, yeah, I'll do that. And what it really is an intention. And the subtext means if I still have time, if I feel like it, if you don't make me mad, if I don't get a better offer, all of those are kind of a subtext, and you know that because when you or someone else doesn't do something that you said you were going to do, well, this came up. Oh, yeah, I forgot I had a conflict. Oh, well, my brother, my mother, my spouse, oh, yeah. And the expectation is that the other party, oh, okay, and we just allow that. Well, that's no way to live, and it's certainly no way to live in power. If you want to create an impact, you have to understand what a commitment is. So for me, a commitment is something that when I say it, what I mean is I'm going to do whatever I have to guarantee delivery. I'm going to do that or cause it to be done, period. No matter what, I'm going to do that, or if I'm not dead. It is not a casual thing. Now, I'm not saying run around and make commitments everywhere. You need to be careful about what you commit to. But what I know is that having something in your life rise to the level of a commitment is powerful and it is motivating. A place to start is think of something that you are truly committed to. Maybe it's a loved one. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's an idea, and think, what am I willing to do for that thing? And if the list is short, or if it's not very difficult, then you're not committed. You have an intention, and it's a thing if you're convenient. If it's convenient, I mean, if the timing and the effort is convenient. It's okay to have those things. But if you really want to make an impact, I hear so many people use the word, I want to make an impact, and they often combine it with income. I'm going to make an impact and an income doing what I love. Well, right here, right now, I'm telling you that's absolutely possible. You can make a living doing what you love. You can make a difference doing what you want to do. You can. And you know what? You were given gifts and talents to do just that. But most people don't. And in fact, when I have the blessing and opportunity of listening to where people are in their lives, what I often hear is a lot of fear about doing the thing they feel called to do. Often the phrase is, well, I'd love to help people, and then they list areas where their life experience, maybe your life experience, has brought you to a place where you say, I really could help with that. And we often use the word coaching because that's what's fashionable right now. But a coach, a consultant, a teacher, a mentor, a leader, a teacher, all of those are slightly different versions of the same thing, which is where you make a choice to serve with your knowledge and experience. Now, if you're going to do that and make an income and an impact, that requires commitment. And commitment is the energy of success. Commitment is the energy of excellence. Now, yesterday we talked about the difference between low-grade and high-grade thinking, attitudes and explanations and excuses and things that are energy sucks or energy sources. True commitment is perhaps the most powerful form of energy source. Sometimes with clients, I'll say the most powerful words in the language, and I'm speaking English, and there would be other words in other languages, are these: because I said so. When I say that, I don't mean because I said so, like someone defending territory or something like that. I mean when you say something, most importantly to yourself, you make a promise to yourself, because I said so, because I made that commitment, because that's who I am. That is the most important declaration and power source in the universe. Because I'm supposed to, because so-and-so expects me to, because of all these other reasons, those are weaker. In fact, some of them are downright weak. So I want you to examine your heart and say this to yourself: are you living your ultimate life? Simple question. Do you have, and I define ultimate life as having purpose, prosperity, and joy, not once in a while, but every day. Are you living where joy is every single day? You're just having joyful things, joyful, not just moments, but hours, experiences, opportunities. Is that your day? All of it, or nearly all of it? Are you making the difference that you want? That's a simple question. Are you creating the resources or income that you want? That's a simple question. If you're not, are you committed to change that, or are you going to settle, tolerate something less? That's a simple question. You may have been settling up to now, and if you have been, no judgment here. But if you're unhappy with what your situation is, with the impact that you have, with the level of excellence that you've achieved, and with the income that you have, you can change it, and you can change it right now. And it doesn't need to take a year or 5 or some big long process. The ramp to excellence is one step. It is, I refuse to do anything that is not excellent, or everything I do will be excellent from this time on. Now, that may mean you change the number of things you commit to. It may mean that you have to spend extra time. It may mean some 12-hour or 14 or 16-hour days to keep the commitments you've made. But what's important is that you have then become a person of your word. So the challenge today is every thought, every word that you speak to yourself or out loud, identify it. Is this an intention or a commitment? Am I saying it because I want to end a conversation? I want to make somebody happy. It's a vague wish somewhere. I wish I could do it. I hope I get it done. Or is it a commitment? I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that happen because I said so, because that's who I am, because that's what I'm made of. And now, I'm not trying to tell you what you should commit to, But what I am saying is a person who does not keep commitments does not have power. A person who cannot keep their word will not have an impact that matters. So if you want to create a life of impact and income, step one is differentiate. Step one is make a declaration. I'm going to do this. And what that means is I don't know all the steps right now, and I don't need to. But what I do know is I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to a plane of excellence. Now, one of the tools we talked yesterday is about the level and the low grade and high grade thinking. The more time you spend in thinking and languaging that is a source of energy as opposed to a suck of energy, the faster and easier it is to rise to a plane of excellence. Here's a really easy example. I play the piano. I play well. I've been playing since I was 5, so that's 60-something years. When I practice, if I do crappy practice, which is allow a lot of mistakes and don't pay attention to things, my skill doesn't develop. On the other hand, I can spend less time with really focused and clear and intentional practice, doing things on purpose in an excellent way, and that makes a huge difference. Less time, more focus. Less time, more focus. So the level of focus, inversely proportional to time, can get you the same results, in fact, better results, than more time with lousy focus. So if you're not achieving the income and impact you want, there's a solution. The only question is, do you want to walk the road? Now, my commitment to you watching right now is this. I'm committed to help 50 million people to level up their lives. What does that mean? It means discover your gifts or identify them. It then means to decide how to serve with those gifts. Maybe that means create a business. Maybe that means create a product. Maybe you want to do it all volunteer because you don't want to worry about creating business or creating money. I don't know. But most that I talk to need to pay rent and do that to create a business from their skills and talents. It's easier than it's ever been. And almost 99% and maybe 100% of the reasons I hear are stories and they're made up. So you are free this moment to settle for where you are. And there's no judgment about that. But if you'd rather elevate your game, if you'd rather create income and impact, then join me on the road to 50 million, because my commitment is to help you make that real in your life so that you have the ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy. I'd love to help you if you want help. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're already there. Regardless, if this message has you thinking, I need to do something, let's talk. Or get help somewhere. Whether you do it from me or any other way, I don't even care. If this has inspired you to actually commit and act, you're good. Then follow through and keep your commitments. I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.